Now is an architect and set designer, Tosin Dada. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, how do you key into people's vision to bring it to life?
First of all, clients usually have a brief. Okay, they know what they want to achieve with their program or event, or let's say a showcase or product launch. So we basically tie into that and start our concept design, then launch out into full production and construction really.
But do you have some form of challenges where, like the respondent said in the report, where a client knows something, but then it really has no idea how to figure it out, really, and you have to face the challenge of, okay, this is what you want to do, is this what you want to do?
Okay, and basically that's why we're getting paid. We're paid to tell you what you want. Most clients don't know what they want in the right way they really want it. So you now make it clear to them, explain clearly, give them options, and they now kind of say, oh yes, I like this, oh, I like that, oh, I don't want this, I want that. Then in the end, you can basically now rebrief, then get the proper direction for the program or the project. Yeah.
Well, speaking about being paid, you were saying something off camera. I want you to say it again. There are challenges at some point when you're working with your clients. Tell us about it.
Project financials, okay. Okay, clients usually basically want everything to be done like heaven on earth really. Some clients can afford it, some clients can't, but it's also fair. Usually we just try to give our best. Budget constraints, everything involved, finances, Nigerian factor, but we still try to give our best and
Speaking about the Nigerian factor, how do you source for the items you use to get the set look believable? Is it a challenge as well?
First off, it's more of a product of creativity. So you can basically use regular everyday materials you see anywhere in the market, on the roads, regular things you can turn into like magic basically. So you apply texture, colors, materials, lights, reflective issues. Yeah, so really you can make gold out of anything really.
But how are Nigerians embracing this set design? Is it something that Nigerians believe it is something that should be a regular part of our system now?
Okay, in the beginning it started with corporates like banks and telecoms companies. They really keyed into events and projects that will have elaborate sets and stages and events packages. But over time, you could see even people with their 50th birthday, 60th birthdays, they have elaborate stage sets and really fancy setups. So it's kind of growing into the regular Nigerian, but it's always like a factor of your budget, really. So you wouldn't want to have a small gig and spend so much money. So
do you use a different set for different, like the set you use for birthdays differ from when you have corporate events, right? Talk us through that.
Okay, it basically stems from the brief. So if it's for like a birthday party, it's kind of, okay, the celebrant might have maybe a princess theme or like a kid, a Batman theme. So you can't start with like a traditional thing around that. So you have to go with kiddies theme, tailored around what the brief really is about and tailored around the client's requirements and the client's taste and yeah, basically.
Now, do you face any challenges that you'd like us to, to know or talk about?
Challenges, logistics, getting the right materials you need. Because really, you might not get the right things you need locally. You might need to source from China, source from other countries, freight, customs issues. Those are the realities we face on ground. So we have to maybe create substitutes every time. Those substitutes might not be good enough, but we just try to make it work, make it look as good as possible, really.
And is there something that you would want the government to look into to make life easier for set designers?
Life easier for set designers. Okay, basically, if the economy works better, if everything is easier for everyone, everything works for everyone, really, clients will be willing to pay more. So really, in the end, it comes back to us and we can do more with more funds, really. So once Nigeria gets better and we're basically getting there, so eventually everything's going to get well, then we at the back end, a service kind of render services. So once funds are available to the clients, it gets well for us, yeah.
All right, Tosin Dada, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
On TVC.
I have with me now an architect and set designer, Tosin Dada, with me in the studio. Tosin, good morning.
Morning.
Now, talk to us. What is the most important element of a set design?
To me, I think the most important bit of set design is functionality, because in the end, you would want to do something fancy and aesthetically pleasing, and it doesn't work for the client, it doesn't work for the program.
Okay.
So
it has to be flexible.
Exactly.
Somehow. Okay.
Everything has to come together to give it the best, yeah.
Now, what is the first thing you consider when you are sitting down to think about what set to bring to interpret a story or a design someone brings to you? What are the first things you consider?
Usually, it's first trying to wow the viewer, really, because in the end, it's showbiz architecture for me. So you're just putting out something that would, oh, that's nice, wow. So the client, he himself comes like, oh, you did a good job, thanks, because that's the feedback he's getting from the viewers. What
is the role of light or lighting in a set?
Role of lighting, light is everything, really, because that's usually, and that's all and mostly what the viewers see, and it really gives the bounce of, oh, it's great, it's nice, the reflections, it really brings out the real essence of all the materials on the set, really, yes.
Talk to us about one of the most important things people would like to know. How much does an average set cost? What's the range?
It's either we're looking at temporary sets, let's say for a birthday party, just for a couple of hours, or permanent sets like in like a studio. Usually for small events, we could do maybe, you could have things from about 300,000, go up to about 700.
300,000?
Yes.
For a small set of maybe for a birthday or something?
No, not a small birthday party. I'm talking of like
a permanent studio
exactly.
set. Okay.
Yeah. So for permanent studio sets, we're looking at close to 2, 3, 4, 5 million, depending on details. Yes.
Oh. So how do you source for materials? What are the elements you put together?
Usually we source for materials locally, because in the end, trying to source materials outside the country, you have time, because usually clients don't come to you until it's like back end, game over, we need it now. So it's hard to say, oh, give me 4 weeks to bring things from outside the country. So we usually source for things locally, except we just have to get it outside. Yeah.
If you're putting up a studio, for instance, a temporary, maybe a permanent studio you're building, how long would it take to put that together?
We could, between 3 and 4 weeks. Yeah.
4 weeks?
3 and 4 weeks, yes.
To put up a studio together?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, talk to us about the challenges. What area is most challenging when you're putting up a set or when you're designing a set?
Design itself is actually the most challenging bit for me, because you have to tie everything together. You have to tie the electrical services, wiring, cabling, acoustics also, because in the end, sound has to come out good, so you don't have sound bouncing here and there. You have to have proper absorbers around. So there's so many things we have to tie into the design. So it has to look good on TV, but it also has to work. It has to work here.
If I have a set, if I have a project for a set, for instance, I'm coming up with a studio and all that, and I bring you in, do the clients leave it to you to design whatever set, or do they tell you, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want, or something? How does it work?
Okay, personally, I prefer clients that
have an
idea of what they want to do, yeah. So it kind of guides me. So we don't work for weeks and clients say, oh, no, I don't want this. We start again. So in the end, that way we lose time. So usually, most clients have an idea of, oh, I'm going in this direction. So we kind of work that way, then bring up our own ideas, give the client some concepts to work with.
In that case, set designers don't have the independence of bringing up something. Oh, is that it?
Some clients give you the free roll, really. Yes. Some clients say, oh, just wow me, kind of. So you just go ahead and wow the clients, kind of. Yeah.
I love that. But when it comes to in Nigeria, where we find ourselves right now, how are people embracing the use and appreciating the role of set to any kind of shows, for instance?
Okay. I think basically over time, businesses have evolved, so clients understand the essence of showbiz and entertainment and putting out their products in the public, like on the internet, on YouTube, on videos and TV shows and all that. So it basically enhances their business, so they basically have no way around it. They have to
Interesting. All right, Tosin Dada, thank you very much for talking to us
You're
right
welcome.
now. And I know all the naira and all the dollars are rolling in.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much for
You're
coming.
welcome. Cheers.
All right.